money-making method of 2024 just dropped, pretending to be an influencer. And I'm gonna try it out to see how viable it really is. So, if you've been in the making money off social media ecosystem and are somewhat familiar with offering paid services to influencers, you would have probably heard of the Hood Classics: designing thumbnails, editing short-form content into long-form content, or just editing content in general. And these are still legitimate ways of making money, but they are also saturated. As a big clout, mega superstar influencer myself, I can tell you, even I've received lots of these offers. But guess what isn't saturated? Identity theft. I'm just kidding, sort of. This is essentially how it works. Most social media personas want to grow their outreach on all platforms because more outreach usually means more money for them. But it's a very time-consuming process to make specialized content for every platform out there. As someone who does YouTube myself, I can tell you it takes a long time for me to make a video. Now, imagine I had to make extra content for TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, Snapchat, and whatever else is out there. Considering I could barely even post one video a month here, it's not happening. Now this is where you, the ghostwriter, come in. The plan is to reach out to influencers who are mainly active on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and basically offer to write tweets or threads for them that sound like they wrote it, so they can amass a new following on those platforms without having to spend much time and effort doing so. Let's take someone like Alex Hormozi, a big influencer in the business self-development space. If we take a look at his X account, we can see that he posts pretty frequently, several times a day, actually. I could almost guarantee you that it's not actually him writing these tweets. I just don't think he has the time. There's someone out there whose job it is to watch his content and write these tweets that sound like he wrote it. So essentially they get paid to
copy my whole flow, word for word, bar for bar.
But how much money can someone even make doing something like this? From the research I've done online, several thousands per month apparently. Even more than 10K a month is what some are claiming. If you can get a few clients to grow their followings significantly on Twitter and Threads, that's a very valuable skill in this day and age. You can then showcase those results when pitching your services to new clients, and that will allow you to charge more. Also, since this isn't a very time-consuming job, I don't think, you can take on multiple paying clients at once, and that is how I think the real money's made here. The next step is making a company. Not like an LLC or anything, but a website and an email with a custom domain. So we're kind of pretending, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Imagine getting reached out for this job by the Social Growth Agency or Jeff from jeffroberts93@gmail.com. Which one sounds more legitimate right off the bat? And after some thinking, my company will be called Social Stride. We, my team of many other people, and I, provide cross-platform growth strategies and solutions for social media influencers. Now I just have to make a website that looks halfway decent and get an email that ends in @socialstride.com. And here it is. I think it looks good enough, honestly. The whole purpose of this website is to convince potential customers that I'm legit, and I think it does a pretty good job of doing that. I also got the email as well, so now all that's left to do is reach out. But before I do that, what does the ideal influencer customer look like for me? Well, since I follow primarily the business, fitness, and martial arts niches, this person should ideally be someone from one of those three areas. Imagine I had to write a tweet for a car racing influencer explaining why one specific car part is better than the other for going 0 to 60. I would be completely lost, but in these areas, I wouldn't. I'm familiar with the terminology, I understand the concepts, so naturally, I'd also be able to write better tweets. So the first criteria is you gotta know what they're talking about. The second factor, this person needs to be financially successful. Not necessarily just from social media, but maybe they run a business outside of it and they're leveraging their social media exposure to maybe sell a course or a mentorship program or something like that. Or maybe they're just making a killing getting a ton of views. As long as they're bringing in money somehow. I just don't see someone who isn't earning a lot spending on a more unconventional service like this. Lastly, they need to be posting consistently. So the opposite of me. The content creation game is a time-consuming grind. This person would ideally not have enough time on their hands to be thinking and brainstorming of tweets and threads to write. And there's a good chance they don't if they're busy making a lot of other content. On top of that, I need to base these tweets and threads off something. So the more content they have, the more information I can pull to potentially write more. Now it's time to start reaching out. I have a few people planned. I've written out what I think is a good pitch and I'm gonna start sending these through. But what I think is going to set me apart is that I'm offering my services completely for free for 7 days. That way they don't risk anything. If they see value in my work, they can choose to hire me. And if not, no harm done, other than wasting my time. The way it's gonna work is I just send them the tweets and they're gonna be the ones actually posting them. So if they don't like anything I've sent, they don't have to post it. This does suck for me because I'm gonna be working for free with no guarantee of anything, but that's sort of what you have to do in the beginning with no credibility and results to show. So let's send these through. Okay, my inbox is looking very dry. Not one single reply. Did not expect this, honestly. I'm gonna have to change up my approach here. Okay, new plan. We cannot get discouraged here. I will reach out to these influencers and riz them with my pitch on their least followed platform. Up until this point, I've only sent out emails, but probably, it's very hard to stand out there because their inboxes are flooded. But let's say the person is a YouTuber and they recently made an Instagram account. Then Instagram is going to be the place with the highest likelihood of standing out. So I should reach out to them there. This, of course, isn't the case for everyone that I reached out to. Some people are well followed in every platform, but for some, it is. So I'm gonna change up my pitch a little bit and see where this new strategy gets me. Okay, I managed to start talking to someone. He liked my pitch, the conversation was flowing, and after some back and forth, I am now in my 7-day trial period. I wish I could show you guys who it is and what my actual tweets are, but unfortunately, in the non-online business public eye, it's not a good look to admit that somebody else is writing your tweets. It could come off as disingenuous and hurt the person's public image, potentially, so I can't say anything. No squealing. Personally, I don't think it's a big deal at all. A lot of celebrities actually have their social medias ran by other people entirely, but I could also see why someone wouldn't want to publicize this information. When it came to the actual job itself, it was surprisingly harder than I thought it was going to be. I had to watch all this person's content and attempt to get in their head, but it was definitely possible. In the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I second doubted myself on everything that I wrote, but after a few days, it got a little easier. I gained a little bit of confidence. Eventually, I was spending around 20 minutes per tweet, which is not much time out of my day. My quota was 1 tweet a day, but since I wanted to stand out, I usually wrote 2. So I was spending 40 minutes a day on this, completely for free, with no guarantee of getting paid. So I woke up this morning, checked my phone, and I did not get the job, unfortunately. Apparently, the person is now going to have more free time, so they're just going to be doing these themselves. What I think really happened here, though, is once they saw how I was structuring these tweets based off of their other content, they figured out what I was doing and they probably realized they could just do it themselves. Or a different way of looking at it is this is a failure on my part because my tweets weren't unique and creative enough that they can't replicate them without needing to hire me. So that's the lesson learned here, I guess. Just do a better job and provide more value. But the real bummer here isn't even that. Because I was so sure that this was gonna work out for some reason, I didn't reply to other clients that got back to me. And replying to them now, days later, does not make me look good, but I'm gonna try to pull something off. Let's see if I can make it work. Okay, we finally got some good news. Not only did I manage to get a new client, but they offered to pay me even for the 7 initial days. And how much was I able to negotiate? $200 a month for 1 tweet a day. If it takes me 20 minutes to write one, that ends up being $20 an hour, which is not bad, honestly, especially considering I have 0 experience, plus the fact that I'd be able to write these faster the more that I do it and charge more. I would say this is a real viable side hustle. Will I personally be doing it though? No. How am I gonna tell this guy that this was all for a video and I'm not actually interested in the job? I don't know.